Hello and welcome to my EFL review for game week 15 for the Championship League 1 and League 2, as Championship has finally caught up with the League 1 and 2 in match week. So yeah, let's just dive straight to my EFL review for game week 15. So starting in the Championship, as we always do then on Friday night, Watford won, Bristol City won. Not really a lot to say in this one, bit of a cagey game. Bowler getting the early goal for Watford and then Scott Twine equalising in that one. Bristol City stay in or don't stay in it. They drop to 8th. Watford stay in or drop to 15th. Into the half-12 kickoffs we go. Blackburn 1, Derby 2. John Eustace's side getting a win over his former side Blackburn. It was kind of to be expected for Derby County in this one to get a nice 2-1 away victory over Blackburn. Yuki Ihashi's goal not enough for Blackburn. That one, Hull 3, Portsmouth 2. Bonkers game at the MKM. I thought this would be a routine win for Hull. It proved not that, and it proved quite difficult. Solid home win over 3-2. Over Portsmouth in that one by 3-2. Millwall 1, Preston 1 was the other half-12 kickoff. Preston taking the lead. Ivanovic finally getting back amongst the goals for Millwall, and yeah, kind of responded to that horrible defeat in midweek to Birmingham. So yeah, 1-1 in that one. Middlesbrough 2, Birmingham 1. Birmingham really unlucky to not get something out of this. Middlesbrough scoring right before halftime with Hayden Hackney. Very good time to score. Is right before halftime and kind of settled the game. Birmingham did have more chances, did play a lot better away from home than they have done this season. Good win for Middlesbrough. Birmingham stay in 11th or drop to 11th. I think they were in 9th before. Norwich 1, Leicester 2. Liam Manning's out the door now, so Norwich can not worry about that. I think Gary O'Neill might be going in there last minute. James equaliser for them. Bobby Reid also on the score sheet. Sheffield United 0, QPR 0, scrap it. I did say that was going to be a draw though in my predictions. Southampton 3, Sheffield Wednesday 1. Good home win for Southampton. That one, back-to-back wins. Are they going to give their the under-21s manager the full job? We'll have to wait and see on that one. Sheffield Wednesday still -4 points. Southampton back-to-back wins, still only 17th in the table. Stoke 0, Coventry 1. Brilliant late winner for Coventry despite being in the 86th minute from Mason Clark. Good win over Mark Robbins' Stoke. Mark Robbins losing against his former club. That usually doesn't happen, but it did on this occasion. Only 5 shots on target the whole match. Not great game of football to watch. Ipswich winning away again by 4-1. They did it against QPR. They did it against Alan Sheehan's Swansea City as well. 2 Burgess own goals for them. Cameron Burgess, that is quite weird considering he used to play for Ipswich. 2 own goals. I wonder if there was any purposeful. I'm joking. There won't be any purposeful own goals in there. West Brom did beat Oxford in there as well. Good solid home win for Ryan Mason's side. They needed that win to climb back up to 14th with an extra 3 points. Gary Rat's Oxford just outside the drop zone. Wrexham beat Scrappy Charlton by 1-0 that I got that one spot on. Josh Windass penalty in that one for Wrexham getting over the line against Nathan Jones' Charlton, who dropped to 9th in the table. The table does look like this, with Sheffield Wednesday sitting at the bottom on the -4. Can't really do a lot, can they, at the moment? Norwich in 23rd. Already a 4-point gap opening up to Oxford. Sheffield United, the other team, in 22nd on 10 points. Oxford in 21st on 13. Blackburn and Portsmouth on 16 and 14. Blackburn 19th, Portsmouth 20th. Swansea in 18th. Southampton 17th. Queen's Park Rangers in 16th. Watford in 15th. Under Javi Gracia at the moment, doing okay. Little bit of a new manager bounce in there for them. 14th, West Brom. 13th, sit Wrexham. 3 sides sitting 13th, 14th and 15th at the moment. Yeah, 12th sit Leicester, mid-table for them. Good solid away win, eases the pressure on Mighty Cifuentes there. 11th, Birmingham, despite the loss to Middlesbrough, or despite the back-to-back wins they had in last week. Derby sit 10th, another good win for them, up to 10th now. Charlton in 9th. Bristol City just outside the plus. Ipswich knocking on the door off the plus with the +10 goal difference in there as well. Millwall just inside the playoffs. Hull in 5th. Preston in 4th. Stoke rounding off 3rd to 6th in the playoff places. And Coventry and Middlesbrough. Coventry are looking very good for automatic promotion this season, aren't they? And that is my championship review. Let's dive into League 1. Into League One, and we start with Thursday night's match as Reading got a 1-0 home win over Stevenage, and Stevenage have dropped down to 5th in the table. After that loss, good solid win for Reading in that one. Charlie Savage's only goal in that one, keeping Reading in it. First home win for Liam Richardson as Reading boss. Next one is Northampton 2, Mansfield 1. Good home win for Kevin Nolan's side against Nigel Clough Mansfield, who probably deserves something out of this game, it has to be said. In the other half 12 kickoff, Wickham and Michael Duff absolutely battered Leighton Orient by 4-1 as Richie Wellers facing the sack at Leighton Orient. We'll have to wait and find out. Blackpool beating Cardiff by 3-1, good solid win. The new manager bounce of Ian Everett is kicking in properly at Blackpool. Bolton beat Port Vale under Stephen Schumacher by 4-0. I said 3-0 in the predictions. They absolutely ripped them apart and ripped them to pieces. Burton get another decent win away at Bradford City in there as well. Barnsley beating Doncaster as well in what was a bit of a Yorkshire affair. Good win for Burton, good win for Barnsley, back or 2-1 away wins in that one for both of those. 1-1 between Exeter and Wigan. Huddersfield beat Plymouth in El Sacico. That should be the undertone cleverly, although I'm not so sure yet. Peterborough beat Wimbledon by 5-0, and the wheels might be starting to fall off the Wimbledon bus a little bit. If you're losing to Peterborough 5-0, that is quite embarrassing. Rotherham beating Lincoln by 3-0. Stockport 0, Luton 3. Luton are clicking finally, despite Stockport going down to 10 men in that game. Good wins for Burton, Barnsley in there. Solid wins for them too. Big winners Huddersfield as well under Lee Grant. Eases the pressure on him, but Huddersfield fans probably didn't want to win that. I know it's 3 points at the end of the day, but it's going to hurt them in the long term. Let's just jump into the table review then for League One. Bottom is Plymouth Argyle at the moment, absolutely mental. Port Vale down in 23rd, Peterborough moved to 22nd, Blackpool still in that drop zone on 15 points in 15 games, a point a game. At the moment, Leighton Orient just scraping above that bottom 4. Richard Wellers is going to have to watch his back. He doesn't get sacked. Exeter City sit in 19th position. Doncaster in 18th. Reading sits 17th with their win over Stevenage this weekend. Big 3 points there. Wigan 16th at the moment. Burton in 15th. Wickham in 14th. Just rounding off that mid-table is the bottom half of the table is Northampton Town in 13th. Rotherham United up in 12th. Then Barnsley do sit 11th. Huddersfield do sit 10th. Despite the 3 points over Plymouth, they're still down in 10th. That is not great reading for Huddersfield. Luton are finally starting to click under Jack Wilshere, up to 9th. Mansfield in 8th. Wimbledon drop outside the playoffs with that horrible defeat away at Posh. Lincoln and Stevenage scraping onto those playoff places after starting the season very, very well. Cardiff in 4th, even though they did lose 3-1 to Blackpool at the weekend. Bolton up to 3rd under Schumacher. They will be looking to get promoted this season. They finally started to work our Bolton Wanderers. Bradford stay in the top 2 despite their defeat at home to Burton, and Stockport still top of the league. So, they lost as well at home to Luton. So, League One's getting very, very tight at the top of the table. 6 points separate 1st to 10th. And it's 7 points between 1st and 11th. Or 1st and 12th, sorry. Rotherham starting to click under Matt Hamshaw as well. So, let's just dive straight into my League 2 review as League 1 is done. Here we go then into League 2 we go. Colchester 0, Bromley 2. Good solid away win for Bromley in that one. Shrewsbury back to losing ways against Colchester. Crewe with a nice 3-1 victory over Shrewsbury in that one. They did level it up, Shrewsbury, but then were hit in the 56th and 93rd minute. Barnet 2, MK Dons 2. I think I got that one bang on prediction wise. Good game, quality game of football for League 2 anyway. Pitetta did get man of the match. Barnet probably should have won that game looking at the stats on the XG, but XG means nothing in football. MK Dons sit 4th, still inside those playoff places. They need to creep into the top 3 if they are to get promoted this season. Automatically, Barnet currently do sit 11th. Not great for them either. They need to be pushing for the playoffs. Grimsby have thrown away a 2-2 lead away, a 2-goal lead away at Barrow, and it did end 2-2. Very disappointing for Grimsby Town. Did they go 2-0 up too quickly in that one? Bristol Rovers 0, Gillingham 1. Finally a win for Gillingham in that one with new manager. Or no new manager, still caretaker manager Richard Dobson in there as well. Good solid win in that one for Gillingham. Bristol Rovers down in 17th as well. Chesterfield 3, Accrington 3. Absolute bonkers game at Chesterfield this weekend at the SMH Group Stadium, and Chesterfield did miss a penalty in the last minute. Very, very unlucky for them. They were 2-0 down. They picked it back to 2-2 and then 3-2, and then Accrington pegged them back again. Not great reading of the table for Chesterfield at the moment. We'll get onto that in a minute. Crawley did beat Fleetwood by 2 goals to 1. 10-man Fleetwood as well. Another good home win for Scott Lindsay's Crawley. Harrogate 0, Oldham 1. Red card for Oldham in there as well. But yeah, a very good solid win with 10 men as well. Walsall did beat Newport by 4 goals to 2. 0-0 draw between Salford and Cambridge. And 2-1 win for Swindon over Tranmere. Good away win for Matt Sadler's Walsall by winning 4 goals to 2 away at Newport and remaining top spot in there as well. Swindon keeping the pressure on, winning at home to Tranmere. Table looks like this in League 2. Bottom is Newport. Shrewsbury back inside that drop zone. I think they were still inside that drop zone. Cheltenham outside there. Do play Notts County tonight. Just a reminder of that fixture tonight. Harrogate just sitting outside there as well. 21st. Accrington in 20th, Crawley in 19th. Decent win for them at home at the weekend over Fleetwood. Tranmere 80th, Bristol Rovers dropped down to 70th. They had a little spell, but then they've dropped back down again. They are due a bit of a good run at Bristol Rovers. 16th at Colchester United, 15th at Barrow. Really, well, it's a decent point against Grimsby at the weekend, but still really struggling. So Colchester and Danny Cowley, you'd expect them to do a bit better. 14th at Oldham, 13th Fleetwood, Cambridge in 12th. That's your mid-table kind of gaggle. Barnet and Chesterfield will be looking to get in the playoffs by the end of the season with the squads they have. Bromley in 9th under Edward Woodman. They're doing okay themselves. Notts County win tonight. They're inside those playoff places and, well, could actually go in the top 3 with a win over Cheltenham tonight, couldn't they? Crewe sits 7th, just inside this playoffs. Could be bumped out, as I said, with Notts County as well. Even if they draw, they could drop to Notts County Plymouth to 5th, and Grimsby, Gillingham and Crewe would all drop a place. MK Dons sitting 4th. Salford in 3rd, Swindon in 2nd, level on points with Matt Sadler's Walsall, and it's starting to heat up at the top of League 2, and that is my League 2 review done for this week. Thank you very much for watching my EFL review Game Week 15. If you did like the video, don't forget to like, share, subscribe, do all of that good stuff, and I'll speak to you all on the next one, which will be League 2 predictions tomorrow, so don't forget to stay tuned for that, and I'll speak to you all on the next one.